I'm going to be honest, some things in life are difficult, really difficult, and you're going to struggle with it, although overcoming impossible odds or super hard odds is actually possible. So I just want to talk to you about a little story about one of the world's most neurotic, anxious guys taking on probably the least suited job that he could, the most responsible, high pressure job he could. That is to say, me becoming a tattoo artist. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist. It was the only thing I was good at, and even that, I wasn't very good at it. Thing is, when I was sort of 14, 15, 16, thinking about maybe what I might do as a career, I knew it couldn't be something to deal with people. I was like seriously socially anxious, highly neurotic, just I couldn't deal with people. I mean, I couldn't even talk to people. I was so shy and so concerned about people judging me, what people would think, that I just didn't interact with the outside world. I became a bit of a shut-in, and I thought, okay, well, there's art, you know, the internet was sort of taking off at the time back in the day, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just put my artwork online. And so I did that. I started building a portfolio. Trouble is, I developed an eye condition, which basically meant that I couldn't spend 8 to 10 hours a day or whatever was required to be looking at a screen, producing digital art and making websites and all that kind of thing. What would be the worst possible job a person like me could ever do? Brain surgeon, because of the high pressure environment. Second to that, and something related to art, would probably be tattoo artist. And so I decided, yes, I would become a tattoo artist. And it was not going to be an easy road. I'm not in the tattoo artist community. I'm not part of that whole scene. I never really was. I kind of got into tattooing first through like TV programs like Miami Ink and LA Ink back in the, what was it, about 2005, 2006, early 2000s, about that sort of time. And, you know, I like the art. I'm kind of somewhat curious about tattoos, fascinated by it, even though I'm not part of the scene. You know, like if you go to a tattoo convention nowadays, even though tattooists and tattoo artists, tattoo owners, people that are covered in tattoo ink, they kind of feel like they're doing it to be individual and to mark their sort of journey on their skin or whatever it is. But they all look and dress exactly the same. They wear black t-shirts, black baseball caps, black cargo shorts or hot pants or whatever. It's the same look across everyone. And I didn't fit that look. I'm a nerdy kid into video games, board games, anime, comics. Yeah, I'm just not from that scene. And coupled with the fact that I'm was completely socially anxious and awkward, this was just going to be impossible. But I felt at the same time, like, what choice did I have? If I wanted to sort of draw the type of artwork I like, and if I can't really do that through a computer, because, you know, I sort of trained a bit more as a sort of digital artist, I kind of had to. So I started to try and get an apprenticeship. I started knocking on the doors of tattoo shops in the local area. Everyone was basically saying, at best, nice art, but no thanks. At worst, fuck off, get out of my shop, you piece of shit. I don't know what the tattoo industry, so far as like the shop environment is like now, but back in 2008 or whenever it was, say that I was trying to get an apprenticeship, it was still a pretty antisocial experience. And I knew already you needed a pretty thick skin in order to kind of integrate into that kind of world and deal with that kind of feedback. I mean, I'm so rejection sensitive and criticism sensitive that I thought even going into a corporate job and having an interview and it ending with a thanks very much, smile, handshake, but we don't quite think you're right for the role, but good luck so far as your next endeavours go. It wasn't like that with tattoo shops. They literally were just tear to piss off. So it was difficult. It put a lot of pressure on me. And after knocking on about, I think 35, 45 tattoo shop doors, and I would just go in my car, visit all the shops, find out where I could go, sometimes emailing different places if they're a little bit further afield. I didn't get anywhere. I couldn't get an apprenticeship. I didn't know what to do. I did meet a few decent tattoo artists at the time. There was a local shop that sort of at least let me have a week or two of work experience so I could kind of get a feel for sort of the tattoo shop environment. And I did end up having a little bit of experience working in another tattoo shop with a tattoo artist who proved to be, let's just say, difficult to work with, very egotistical. So I had to just teach myself. And how was I going to do this? I didn't know how to tattoo. Like, there weren't same sort of levels of tutorials and things that you find on the internet now. Like, I was lucky to find a few, like PDF. I remember finding a PDF how to tattoo sort of like workbook thing on LimeWire or, one of these pirate download sites. And it's like, okay, well, I guess this is all I've got. In the end, I did kind of start to teach myself. And as part of the process, I did get a bit of work at a tattoo shop. Trouble is, the place where I was working was probably one of the worst places to tattoo in the UK. It wasn't the nicest of areas. And my boss, well, what can I say about my boss? He basically learned to tattoo while he was in prison for several years for like some pretty horrific assault charges. He wasn't a nice person. In fact, I genuinely thought that he could kill me or like he definitely had the capacity to kill me. So I was going into an environment where I was ever so slightly scared for my life. I mean, he did sort of respect the fact that, I wanted to tattoo and he was kind of into tattoos, but I thought if I ever got on the wrong side of this guy, I might just end up in a ditch somewhere. I'm not even joking. So worked there for a bit. It didn't work out. I wasn't a right fit for it. Socially anxious, awkward me. I wanted to do the artwork. I wanted to do the tattooing, but I just wasn't a fit for it. So then I had to leave. And then I thought, right, I've just got to figure this out myself. I'm just going to have to work for myself. I'm going to have to figure this out. So I then worked in my own private studio. I managed to get customers somehow. And anyway, long story short, I ended up taking on about 500 plus tattoo sessions. I actually got pretty good at tattooing. And this whole story is just to show that even if you're completely out of your depth, like if you're completely useless at something, like you can still do things that would have seemed impossible. And I know you can because I did it, and I still can't even believe how far I've come. And the thing is, I'm not a different person. I didn't just change overnight. I didn't just go from being, super anxious and super neurotic and, very awkward to suddenly becoming, the sort of go-getting business guru type that's just out there to kill it, that's skydiving on the weekends. I'm still not that person, but I think doing a thing that is difficult, even if it doesn't work out, is still worth doing because I think it's definitely shaped who I am as a person. And the amount of people that say to me, oh, I could never tattoo, I could never do that. I was like, well, yeah, try doing it in a tattoo shop where you feel like your boss might kill you and it's in the worst part of town. You're constantly having like rough people, drug addicts and stuff come through the shop doors, and you have to talk with people like that. And I'm not used to talking to people like that. I'm used to talking to comic book fans and we geek out over anime and manga. This is not my crowd. So yeah, I did it. And it just goes to show that things can be done. And I think if you're struggling with something, don't give up. So if something seems impossible right now, my advice would be take it step by step. Know that it's possible because there's a guy that you saw on the internet who said about doing a thing that was for him impossible and somehow he did it. It's a small win, but it's a win nonetheless, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So good luck with your endeavours, artistic or otherwise, and hopefully I'll see you again in another video.